And our first real look at the damage left behind by Helene.
Yeah, the village is drying out, but as you can imagine, things are far from normal. Everywhere you turn, there is mud, fallen trees, and buildings that have turned to rubble before Helene hit. We spoke to David Ross, a Biltmore Village contractor who was sandbagging one of his buildings to prepare for the flooding. We caught up with him again 1 week after the storm slammed western North Carolina.
As I got down here, I was like, oh my God, holy, right? I just can't imagine the amount of damage.
Ross says he has more than 100 workers working to get all of the mud out of the building so they can see just how bad the damage really is. It will be months before they're even able to think about being back in business.
Still to come, the power of coming together for a hot meal, the touching moment of food and fellowship.
Now, from Western North Carolina's news leader, this is News 13.
Roughly 200,000 Duke customers are still living in the dark nearly a week after our area was slammed by Helene, and many are wondering what's taking so long.
Yeah, and for the first time since Helene hit, Duke let somebody in. They took News 13's Mark Liverman on a tour of their substations decimated by the storm.
Almost everywhere you look, torn and twisted metal. Debris that's destroyed what we depend on, like a substation that powers your home.
This is a pallet of lumber from the LOS, and it stayed intact. So think about the weight to lift that. The water had no problem lifting it.
This Duke Energy substation surrounded by so much rubble, it's hard to imagine how most of it is still standing. Lumber, soil bags, grass seed embedded in the structure.
Some of that is fencing from yards, tree limbs. If we go down a little further, you see an 18-wheeler cargo container wrapped around one of our transmission towers.
The cargo container folded like foil around this tower. This area's decimation on Swannanoa River Road catastrophic. This Biltmore substation flooded by Helene's fierce and unrelenting rain. And on this side of the substation, you can see this fence that surrounded it. The chain has been washed away. Objects like this, giving you an idea of just how high the water came.
We've never had anything like this.
You've never seen anything like that?
Never. I've talked with guys who have been 40, 50 years in this field. Each one of them said, never before.
And everywhere we're looking, we're seeing more and more of this damage from the flood. You can see some of this massive debris that's washed up over here, just to give you an idea of how big and heavy some of these objects are. Then right there, you see the water line right next to the X there. That is how high up this water came when this area was flooded. And all of this has to be taken down. They've got to regrade this area before they can build the substation back up. And this doesn't even include the damage you can't see. This looks like it's doing just fine. Looks like it needs a cleaning and that's it.
Well, you're talking about wiring and electricity.
That's true.
And they don't mix well with water.
Duke Energy spokesperson Bill Norton says more than 1 million customers across North Carolina have already been restored.
But that still leaves more than 200,000 customers out. Today, right now. Buncombe County, I think we still have, I want to say it was around 84,000 still out.
That's why the energy company is installing this critical but temporary substation, powering nearly 7,000 customers, while this permanent one gets rebuilt over the next 3 to 4 months.
This will take months, and we're not going to keep customers waiting months.
As for a timeline, too early to tell. Norton says the majority will be restored by the end of Friday. So what does that mean for you?
In a tough hurricane, we've inspected all the damage within a couple of days. Here we are a week later, and there are places we haven't been able to reach.
And for those who may be stuck in the dark after Friday, what do you tell these people? I mean, what can you tell them?
The main thing I tell them is thanks for their patience. I mean, this has been horrific for everyone. For those who aren't sure why, when you see infrastructure like this, I think it kind of gives you a better understanding.
Well,
You know, I live in North Asheville, a community that was hit especially hard by all of this. And there are trees and power lines still down. And it seems fairly obvious to a lot of us that power is not going to be restored in some of those areas for a long time. And you just have to kind of look out your window and see why.
What we're dealing with right now is actually bringing a whole lot of folks together in so many ways. It's happening especially in Swannanoa, where a symbol of hope continues to shine.
Photojournalist Lucas Nelson shows us how the small mountain community is helping those who are struggling right now.
There you go. Okay.
Do you want a thing of just pork?
Oh, no, I just try to put it separate.
We have more beans. I don't have one word. It's just an everybody effort, and it's very heartwarming.
All right. How you holding up?
If everybody helps out a little bit, even if you don't know what you're doing.
I am flabbergasted by the amount of effort that the community and everybody else around us is making.
It's such a Asheville, Appalachian thing to be taking care of your neighbor, loving one another, showing up with hot food or water or anything that someone needs.
It's pretty emotional and special to have everybody show up to help each other.
This community effort kind of gives like the opportunity for both those things, for me staying safe and for me to actually be here and help.
Just because something tragic happens like this storm doesn't mean there isn't tragedy going on all the time in ways that you can fill in.
Don't wait until the storm is gone and we're back to quote unquote being normal. Keep the spirit going. Keep the humanity going. We all love each other, we all need each other, and we'll definitely keep that light burning for someone else whose light in their darkness needs it the most.
I am here and I am moving on. Take me to the cabin in the mountains.
And our parent company is partnering with the Salvation Army for Sinclair Cares Hurricane Helene relief. It will help with humanitarian relief efforts in Western Carolina, as well as South Carolina, Georgia, Florida, Virginia, and Tennessee.
Now get this, so far, folks have donated more than $100,000. Wow, that really is incredible,
yeah,
right?
because yesterday morning at this time it was $40,000.
Right.
So think about
that. And that was a lot.
Double.
So, yeah.
Yes, more than double.
Pretty amazing. Sinclair will match the first $50,000 of that, by the way. At SinclairCares.com, you can go to SinclairCares.com or scan the QR code right there on your screen to make a donation and help out and help a lot of people out there.
Breaking overnight, the Yancey County Sheriff's Office sharing new information on the number of people killed in that county. 8 people confirmed dead related to Helene, and 1 more dying from natural causes. Their search and rescue operations do continue here in Yancey County. So the sheriff reminds us that unfortunately that number could change.
Yeah, these are some tough numbers to hear.
All right, we're going to go ahead and go to Lillian Govis right now. We have her on speakerphone. She is with Buncombe County. She is the communications and public engagement person there. Good morning, Lillian. Tell us what we need to know right now in Buncombe County. Lillian, can you hear me?
Sure can.
Okay, hi, good morning. What is the latest there in Buncombe County?
Well, we've got a lot of additional crews who are in. We've got the fire department from New York who is here with us. They're going to be on the 10 o'clock briefing, and they are working on supporting our search and rescue efforts. We've set up a call center for anyone to call to get answers to your questions. 828-250-6100 is that phone number. That call center is staffed 24/7. So you can call anytime, storm-related information to that call center. 250-6100 is that number. We also have Waste Pro is trying to run routes in the Weaverville area today. Of course, they've got giant trucks, so they can't get down every road, only those ones that they can safely access. So if you are a Friday customer, get those carts out because they're going to try to come through. If they don't come through by the end of the day, it means they couldn't make it, so pull those carts in. But we're working on getting additional trucks and dumpsters stationed out in the community so that folks can get that household garbage to those dumpsters and get those taken care of. Also, our landfill is open, and they'll be open tomorrow from 8 to 1 for household supplies.
Lillian, let me just ask you this, because we've had a lot of questions from viewers in regards to Mission Hospital. What is the status there? Does Mission Hospital have water? Are they able to respond to the emergency situations when people are showing up there?
We have been checking in with Mission, and actually one of the folks on my team, her parent is currently in Mission. And so we have, we're talking to their leadership, but we're also on the experience side with my colleague. And so what they're saying is they don't have any emergency needs from us, and they're able to support their patients at this time. And so they are doing so. We will have Duke Energy on our 10 a.m. briefing to give an update on where we are with power restoration. So that will be really important information for the community to know about what's happening with the power restoration side of things.
You know, on that note, I want to get back to that about water for a second, Lillian. It's, what we've heard, now this is not, source verified, but is that Mission is having water issues and that they've actually been trying to drill a well. Is this something you're aware of or not, or?
That is not anything that I can confirm. I am not aware of that, but we can reach out to Mission and have them on our community briefing. We're trying to make sure these 10 a.m. and 4 p.m. meetings
and that's why I'm bringing it up now.
Are useful, for sure.
And the other part of it is obviously schools. They remain closed. They will remain closed next week, correct?
Yeah. Until further notice, yes.
Okay. We'll look forward to that briefing.
Yeah. One more message from our fire marshal, or two messages actually. He wants to remind people that if you are burning storm debris, please do that 15 feet from your house and only do it in 3-foot piles. So if you have storm debris that you are trying to burn, please do it 15 feet from your house. And our emergency crews are also begging that if folks don't live in some of these small communities where we are still trying to do search and rescue, please don't go there, because it's actually making it really difficult for our emergency crews to get out.
What are those communities that are still experiencing the search and rescues, just to let folks know, like, hey, don't go there?
Swannanoa, Broad River, Guerin Creek, Fairview, the Beetree area, Montreat area. We want to make sure that our emergency crews can get in and out of those places. And yesterday they were reporting that in Swannanoa, they were stuck in traffic for upwards of 45 minutes trying to get out to a location.
Wow.
And so we want to make sure, first things first, let our emergency crews get out.
Okay. All right. Thank you, Lillian. We'll be checking back in with you, and we will, of course, be on that 10 a.m. Conference as well as the 4 p.m. Thank you.
Yep. Thanks for helping get this information out to the community. We're working for you.
Thank you.
For the past 7 days now, we've been touching base with officials throughout the area to make sure we bring you the most accurate and current information possible. And you've got someone on the phone right now.
Mike Morgan joining us once again with Henderson County. Good morning. Good morning, Mike. Hey, I wanted to ask you about Girton and Bat Cave, because we've been seeing some video there this morning. How are those residents faring? Do you know?
Yeah, I tell you, that is still, Katie, the one area we're really working on heavily. We've got about 35 or 40 communities, areas, homes that we're working on because they're cut off. I mean, there are roads out. They can't get in, and we can't. They can't get out. We really can't get in. So that's where the main focus has been on all of our emergency management folks, volunteer firefighters, EMS and rescue squad folks, trying to get to them, trying to take them supplies. And so we've identified those areas. Most of them are in Bat Cave and Girton. We got a few in the Etowah community as well, a few in Dana. So it's kind of widespread, but a lot of it's down 64 out, east out of town, past Edneyville, down that way. And again, that's where they've been working hot and heavily, because that area got hit so hard. And if you've seen some of the video, I mean, we had a drone pilot from Johnston County get us some drone video yesterday. And to see Highway 9 and Highway 74, that's not there anymore, right there where all the roads kind of connect, down in Bat Cave. It's just amazing devastation that happened down there. So a lot of our big focus today and the days ahead are going to be trying to get to those people, make sure they have the supplies they need. And so that's why these donations we're taking in are so important, because everything we're getting in at that 118 Maccabee Court, we're trying to push right back out to the community.
Are those people safe in those more rural areas? Are they accounted for in the Girton and Batcave area, Edneyville?
Right. Some are. Yeah, some are. Some of them, we got out because, they just had nothing. They lost homes, they lost everything. We did a lot of, rescue missions there with helicopters, going in, getting them out. But some folks are okay. They're just kind of riding it out. We're not sure timetable for power for them. Of course, a lot of them probably have, wells and stuff for water, which of course you can't operate that without power unless you have a generator. And so I think, there's a good number of folks that are just kind of hunkered down, and we're trying to get to them. And if they want to get out, then we're getting them out. But there's a good number of folks there. They're just kind of, as long as we get to them, they're just going to kind of ride it out. And hopefully before too long, they'll have power back, and, we can rebuild roads for them and stuff, but that's going to take a long time. There's so much damage in that area, but they seem to be doing, they're pretty,
the best they can, right?
Back here in Girton, they are doing the best they can.
Hey, Mike, in the interest of supplies, getting back to that for a second, I know you expanded the number of distribution locations, but you also need donations. I assume, you can always use more, correct?
We can, and then I got a call from them yesterday afternoon. Diapers, we're pretty good with diapers. We did a big call for some baby items, and we're good there. We're really looking for meal-type canned goods, so things you can just pop off and eat.
Right.
Soups, but also, beanie weenies or, those Brunswick stew things you can buy. And we also need cleaning supplies, tarps, plasticware, paper cups, flashlights, batteries. Those are kind of the things we're seeing a lot of. And at 118 Maccabee Court in Flat Rock, and you guys have pushed that out, we have to make sure, you if you want to donate, that's where we're collecting everything.
You know what, Mike, I'm going to interrupt you for a second, because you brought up an interesting point. Like, you can't, those little, cup of soups, but that you got to add water to or something, that's not going to work.
Yeah.
You need, cans you can pop open and eat it as it is, right?
Exactly. That's kind of what we're looking for. And I was on the radio with Eddie Fox. I tried to ask Eddie what's the best one, because I figured if anybody knew him, that Kiss Country would know. And he came up with beanie weenies, and I'm right with him on the beanie weenies. I can make a meal out of some beanie weenies. Yeah. But just stuff like that, just things they can pop and eat.
Yeah.
Because again, any food they can get is great. And one thing we've done on our website, HendersonCountyNC.gov, and I know you guys have done a lot of stuff too. We tried to create a little community involvement page. On that main page, if you click on that big red banner at the top of our website, it takes you to all the relief efforts. We have a community involvement page too, where we're trying to add in other folks that are doing stuff, like Children's Family Resource Center, Ebenezer Baptist Church, French Broad Baptist Church, different churches that are offering free meals to people or free supplies. We're really trying to gather more information, so if folks are hearing me and they're in Henderson County and they want to see if they're on the list, the call center, 771-6670. It's a great place to call in and say, hey, heard you guys on television. I've been talking about on the radio too. We want to let you know that this church or this organization, we're going to be doing this or that. Get us that info. We'll add it to the list. We got subject to change on there because, sometimes those things do change. But we want to try and get as much information out there. We know a lot of other folks are doing it. But I know a lot of people have been looking at our website every day because we're updating it constantly.
Okay,
just anything we can do to help our residents, we want to do it.
Thank you so much, Mike. We'll check back in with you, I'm sure, this morning. Talk to you soon.
Normally, today, we'd be talking about the excitement of Friday night lights and high school football. Most of our counties won't be playing games tonight, however. No games were played last Friday, and there aren't any involving the majority of our counties tomorrow.
Cleanup efforts like this one at East Henderson are all to get the fields ready for when it is time to play ball again, but few believe that day is coming anytime soon.
Right now it's on the back burner because at the end of the day, we've just experienced a tragedy, just a natural disaster, and it's still very hard for me to comprehend, waking up and, not knowing, a little bit of unknown. So just answering that question's tough.
Well, we've got a handful of games in the far western counties tonight, and we'll cover them in a mini version of our Friday Football Frenzy.
A couple choosing to stay in Chimney Rock, what they have to say about devastation.
Now, from Western North Carolina's news leader, this is News 13.
All right? You might call this a sign of hope or even strength in the midst of tragedy. Chimney Rock, the state park superintendent, posted this photo on Facebook showing the flag on top of the rock.
Yeah, take a look below, and you can just see the scope of the damage there to Chimney Rock Village and beyond. Of course, that flag and that rock, just such a symbol of that community. You can see it from anywhere you travel there in that Lake Lore, Chimney Rock area. So.
And really a symbol of strength if you think about it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, how perfect. Absolutely. A rock with a flag on top. Gotta love that. Well, so far we know Helene claimed 2 lives in Rutherford County.
Rescue teams from as far as New York and Michigan working there in Chimney Rock as we speak. News 13's Jennifer Emmert talked to one couple who is choosing to stay.
It was scary to say the least.
Without Brett and Pam Johnson's faith, they're not sure they would be here.
When that tree cratered the front of our house, that huge entryway took the whole brunt of that tree. If we would have had a normal house, it would have just cut the house right in half. I mean, just right in half. At 3 o'clock in the morning, I was up in one of those lofts because of rain that was coming in. And Jennifer, if that would have just hit 2 or 3 degrees to the east, it would have absolutely crushed me like a bug. But by 5 o'clock in the morning, the storm was just angry. We have 8-foot doors, these glass doors that go out to the back porch that looks at the view. And Jennifer, I don't know how it happened, but I don't know how it came unlocked, but that door is like in another zip code. It just ripped it right off the hinges.
While the Johnsons battled hurricane-force winds below the Rocky Broad, one by one was picking apart the town they love.
The river had obviously jumped into the road and running right down Main Street. You could see one building just begin to lean and boom, gone.
Up the gorge.
It was class 5. Water 100 yards wide, just rolling down.
Swallowing everything, from the brewery to the cabins at a family campground built in the 20s.
My neighbor said, you could just see those things slip off, and the second it hit the water, it was just ground into dirt.
Since Monday, many have been airlifted out.
We have 4 sets of neighbors here, and when they left, they were just like, oh, hell, or take this, or take that, here, take this. Oh, don't you know I got a generator?
Armed with their neighbors' rations, the Johnsons chose to stay.
There's a verse that we love that says, fear not, for I'm with you. Be not dismayed. I am your God. I will help you. I will strengthen you. I will carry you with my victorious right hand. And we have seen that in real time. Right in front of our eyes.
The sign, now hanging from their porch above, says it all.
We hung out the sign to be Chimney Rock strong, just to be a source of encouragement for Western North Carolina.
Nearly a week later, still in a battle to protect the property they love.
If not for our faith, I don't think we could bear this. This is just everything that we have is in this. All our life savings, all our life work is here on this mountain. And so we hung that sign up saying, we're Chimney Rock strong. Fight back.
Jennifer Emmert, News 13.
Breaking overnight, the Yancey County Sheriff's Office sharing new information on the number of people killed in that county. 8 people now confirmed dead related to Helene, and 1 more from natural causes. Search and rescue operations continue there in Yancey County, so the sheriff does remind us that number could change. And the struggle to find food and water continues here in Western North Carolina.
Yeah, it sure does. This morning, FEMA is on the ground to get people as much help as possible. Their first stop was Pack Square Park in downtown Asheville yesterday. Now, FEMA has been working closely with local and state officials. They're making sure help is getting to every corner of the mountains and addressing any existing concerns. Their top priority, however, is safety. FEMA's disaster assistance specialist will remain here until communities are back on their feet.
We can help with some immediate life-saving and life-sustaining activities. For instance, assistance for items like food, water, infant formula, diapers, things along those lines, first aid, prescriptions.
And to get immediate assistance, you can call this number, 800-621-0000. 3362 right there on your screen. They've got disaster assistance specialists on call ready to help you out. They'll be available every day from 7 a.m. to 11 p.m. You can also head to disasterassistance.gov. We've got a number and a link on our website at WLOS.com. We were just mentioning hot breakfast. Well, it can be hard to come by, especially if you don't have any power or water.
Absolutely. Okay, so today a major restaurant chain is bringing in some reinforcements. News 13's Gracie Matisse is live outside the Denny's Mobile Relief Diner in Asheville. Gracie.
Katie and Charles, good morning to you. It has been overwhelming to see the response here from Denny's Mobile Kitchen. Lines all the way out to Smoky Park Highway, and we are just at the Lowe's here, so that'll just show you how needed this is, hot breakfast. I'm going to ask Paul here. He's organizer of this mobile relief kitchen. And so, Paul, tell me what your goal is by being here and kind of how you got to this spot.
Sure. Well, I mean, one of the things we'd want to do during a disaster is we want to go out and bring some hope to people. So we come out with comfort food, we come out with conversations, we talk to the people as they come up, show them that we care, and we hope they leave with some hope that, you know, there's better days ahead. And we decided to come up here when Helene passed through the area. It hit our hometown, Spartanburg, and we decided to spend a couple days there helping folks. And as we looked around, Asheville was a place that was really hit the worst. So we decided we were going to come up here. So now we're up here for 5 days, and we're looking forward to serving as many people as we can.
And we're so thankful that you're here. Thank you so much, Paul. Kim and little Jax here got some breakfast this morning. And so, Kim, you're from the Emma community. Just tell me what you're seeing up there, first of all.
We've got a lot of devastation. A lot of it is dangerous devastation, too, where trees have fallen on power lines. And trees, the power lines is all that's still holding the trees up. People driving under, but they need to be real cautious. We don't have any power or any water. A lot of people up in there have wells, so we're surviving on that. Really, if you've got one where you can get water out of, but it's bad. The holes, they're coming up Adams Hill right now, so they're up to about the fire department. So they're telling us it'll be Friday night, so we're hoping for it.
And what does a hot meal for your family, a hot breakfast, mean to you this morning?
Fantastic. We really appreciate, I told Paul this morning, we really appreciate him coming to our community, really appreciates that. This has called a lot of people to step up and help out their neighbor. We've met a lot of new neighbors we didn't know under these circumstances as bad, but we really appreciate him coming and everybody that's helping the community. Jax went to bed last night looking forward to getting up to coming and getting some pancakes. And his are a whole lot better, apologies, than mine cooked on a rocket stove.
I love it. Kim, little Jax, you are just a star. Thank you so much for being with us. Paul as well, doing so much for the community here. They're going to be here until 1:30 today, and as they said, every morning until Tuesday as well. So come on out to the Lowe's on Smoky Park Highway. All right, we'll send it back to you all.